After 4 long years, I got perfection in my first ever save of Stardew Valley. I cannot believe I'm saying that. But in this video, I clean up the loose edges and finally complete Stardew Valley after almost 6 months of work. Now that we're on to the home stretch of this series, the first day back began with writing down my goals, such as cooking recipes, crafting recipes, and, of course, the golden clock. One of the first things I decided to do was buy some ore and wood to make kegs, and started work on the 3rd keg shed. After that was built, I set to work getting some more crafting recipes made, smelting the ores all the while. I even decided to move some chests to make better use of the workbench, allowing me to craft in a 3x3 area of the chests. I actually got a lot more recipes done than I would have thought, and spent the rest of the day smelting my surplus of iron and copper. A lot of my time will be spent clearing out the quarry on Ginger Island, in search for the last artifact I'm missing for that star drop. I will probably not show much of the grinding, but just know that I had to do this pretty much every day. Of course, despite trying to speedrun the last bit of perfection, I had time to make it to the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies on the 28th. On the first day of fall, all the ancient fruit were ready, so I harvested those along with the Ginger Island farm full of starfruit, which I also replanted before collecting the wine that night. And yes, it has spread into the first shed, getting me 1.2 million gold per harvest. Since I had some starfruit lying around, I refilled the kegs with that after expanding the shed. On Penny's birthday, I gave her an emerald and also bought some beets on the same day, since I was missing them for the cooking recipe. I had to make a mystic tree from the foraging mastery for some reason, and of course, that means filling out the entire outline of my Ginger Island farm with mystic tree. After that, I waited in front of Elliot's house for half the day since he's a social outcast, and then I gave him a duck feather. I am about to make so much money since the starfruit wine is finally ready. And if you didn't know, starfruit is the single highest selling crop in the game, aside from sweet gemberries, which can't be kegged. Which means that after collecting all the kegs, I can make nearly 2 million gold off of this wine. Unfortunately, I am out of starfruit, so the kegs had to be filled with regular old ancient fruit again. However, with another half of a shed worth of kegs, and the starfruit field getting another harvest, I am certainly not low on money. The beets were also ready around this time, so I put them in Lewis's fridge as instructed, which unlocked gambling, a favorite activity of mine in real life, which translated perfectly in-game. The reason I need to gamble is because I need to get this last rare crow to make the final version of the scarecrow for the full crafting log. And after winning big, just kidding, I had to buy basically all the tokens I needed since I was getting so unlucky, I managed to get the scarecrow. Another ancient fruit harvest came and went, and despite only having 3 million in the bank, I'm actually extremely close to getting the 10 million gold I need. Upon giving Marnie her birthday gift, I got the popular achievement for having 5 hearts with 20 people. After that, there was another wine harvest, which are getting more and more time consuming. And after I collected the ancient fruit wine, I piled starfruit into the kegs for what is hopefully the final time, due to me having 4.5 mil after this wine sale. Since I timed it poorly, the day after the wine harvest is the harvest of the fields. After I was done, I finally removed the old wood farm from absolutely ages ago. The final starfruit wine harvest was today, and I actually did end up restocking the kegs with some ancient fruit wine, and finding a hazelnut on the way to the quarry, which I so dramatically put in my to-do list. After selling it all, I made over 2 million gold in a single day for the first time. When I woke up, I headed to the rainy island to collect a batch of starfruit along with some mystic syrup. Obviously, collecting the Ginger Island quarry while I was there to find nothing of worth. However, the day after that was insanely important, as I managed to scrounge enough gold together after selling all the unprocessed ancient fruit and starfruit to get 10 million gold. And finally purchased the clock on the first day of winter. I used some artifact troves at Clint's after that, and got an ancient seed, which was actually super useful since I would need to craft one into a plantable seed for the crafting log. I gave Linus a rabbit's foot for his birthday, getting me the Beloved Farmer achievement for getting 10 hearts with 8 people, and gave Haley a gift while I was awake. Oh, and by the way, I've never mentioned this so far, but basically every day is like 4 seconds long as I spam sleep through the entire year to give out gifts to the various people I neglected for this entire series. Like Caroline, who was also a proud taker of a rabbit's foot, along with Sebastian, who got a frozen tear. After that, the Squid Fest started, and it was a nice breath of fresh air to join an event for once. The only reason I participated in this one because I still needed squid for a couple of recipes. and I had failed to get them throughout the past couple of years. 10 squid later, I got the Art o' Crabbing book, and after reading it, the well-read achievement for getting every book power. Then I gave Hardy a coffee. Then I dropped some squids in the old legend pond in search of some squid ink, giving Evelyn a birthday gift as well. Then giving Clint an iridium bar, Lewis a rabbit's foot, Vincent a grape, Shane a pizza, Pierre some calamari, looping back to a pink cake for Jas, and then Gus, Alex, Demetrius, finally getting the last artifact I needed for the museum on his day. Having spent the last 3/4 of a year looking for it every single day, it's safe to say I immediately donated that to the museum, getting the achievement a completed collection for finishing it, along with a well-deserved star drop. Then the dwarf got a gift, Willie, Leo, and pause. I know that none of you want me to spend the rest of this video listing random names whenever I give them gifts. So for the rest of this video, I'm not going to list any gifting, instead only talking about things if it's actually interesting. So let's skip a ton of time and go to cooking some more recipes on the 8th. By the way, after years of having not checked the mail, when I finally did, it's safe to say there was a lot of random stuff that had been sent to me. I went back to shipping some things on the 25th of spring, finally actually on the home stretch. Crafting some items as well, getting the full shipment achievement on the same day, since I had been saving up stuff for the last few perfection goals for the entirety of this series. A couple days later, Leo moved into the valley as well, setting up residence in a tree near Linus's house. I'm not going to make you watch all the boring crafting since I'm so insanely close to the end of the series, so here's me attending the flower dance for a couple more recipes, grinding dust sprites for the cave patrol quest, and finally crafting the final item, that being a solar panel to get the last achievement I needed for perfection, Craft Master. I don't remember when I finished the cooking goal, but I'm not rewatching 5 hours of footage of me sleeping for years at a time to find the clip. And so after heading to the summit, it was blocked by a rock. But I figured if I went to sleep, it would disappear. And sure enough, I woke up in... The next morning, Grandpa was proud of me. So I ran up to the summit where I met Haley looking over the valley. She told me that she was thinking about our last 10 years together, and how she'd always wanted to share a kiss with her true love at the top of the summit. And of course, I made that dream come true, baby. With Krobus being possibly murdered by a crow behind us. But just don't think about it too hard. And so, that's the end of my first playthrough of Stardew Valley. The final playthrough taking just shy of 100 hours and almost 6 entire months of posting videos on it. It's safe to say I played 100% of Stardew Valley for the first time. Wait, but what about the JoJo achievement?